Just throwing this out there. I just finished watching a lecture where Jeff Volek debates Alan Aragon on low carbohydrate versus high carbohydrate. And Dr. Volek provides a ton of information talking about the different research studies where they've taken people and lowered their carbohydrate intake, and universally across the board they see most people have beneficial effects from it. And Alan counters this by showing evidence of elite athletes. And let me put that out, that he chose like elite endurance runners and people like that. So he chose the best of the best. And this is where I have a little bit of a problem. And I'm sure I'm going to get flamed for this and people are going to tear me apart. But here's the thing. Maybe, okay, those elite athletes happen to have a gene set that makes them an elite athlete, number one, and number two, makes them tolerate carbohydrates better than the average person. If you're not an elite athlete, you might not have the same tolerance for carbohydrates. It's kind of funny to me how people miss out on this all the time. People point out to me, people are like, well, Olympic weightlifting must make you jump higher because Olympic weightlifters always have incredible vertical jumps. No, Olympic weightlifting attracts a more powerful athlete. If you have a shitty genetic predisposition to having slow twitch muscle fiber, you're not going to have a very good vertical leap. You're not going to be a very good Olympic weightlifter. You're going to suck at it. So you'll probably quit. Just like how if you have a lot of slow twitch muscle fiber, you're probably better at long endurance running. If you have a lot of fast twitch muscle fiber, you suck at endurance running, so you hate doing it. For me, I fucking hate running. If I have to run further than like 400 meters, I feel miserable. I hate it. I'm absolutely just I'm beyond miserable. And don't get me wrong, okay? I forced myself to do it. I've done 60 miles a week of running, even more than that, okay? I've done it because it was like, well, I have to do it. Because we all do shit that we don't really want to do, like getting out of bed or going to work, okay? So I plugged the miles in and I did them because I was pursuing becoming a Navy SEAL. Gotta run. But the thing is, alright, naturally, I'm a power athlete. I am not an endurance athlete. I suck at endurance. I fucking hate endurance. It makes me miserable. I don't enjoy it. Okay? But I have a 42-inch vertical leap. Does that have anything to do with the type of training that I do? Or does that have to do with the fact that genetically, I have maybe higher IGF-1 levels? I tested positive for the actin-3 gene, okay, so I'm a more explosive, faster athlete. I'm a more powerful athlete. You will absolutely smoke my ass in any endurance event whatsoever. I guarantee 99.9% of people watching this, even if you are 80 pounds overweight, you will probably still smoke my ass in any endurance event. As far as speed. Now, if it's just flat out endurance, who can run the longest, I'm going to win because I refuse to quit. So either I'm going to die or I'm going to win. But if it was about like, hey, who can run 20 miles faster, 99.9% of people could outrun me. And I say that with confidence. I suck at anything endurance related. And I'm miserable. I mean, literally, once I hit like the 200 meter mark, I'm like, how much longer is this going to go? When I hit 400 meters, I'm like, holy shit, I've been running forever. I could have 20 more miles to go, but at 400, I'm already going, I've been running all day. So, my point being, okay, does Olympic weightlifting make you a great jumper? No, because I was a great jumper before I even started doing Olympic weightlifting. Okay, back when I played hockey, they tested our vertical leap, our broad jump, and stuff like that. I always tested in the top of the group. I was always a good jumper. I was always very explosive. I always was good at sprints, really short sprints. We would test like the 30 meter and the 60 meter. Okay, and we had a vertical leap, we had a broad jump. There was a whole bunch of agility drills that we would do. I always tested very, very high for the explosive things. Then I got into Olympic weightlifting and I just got better at it. Okay? The thing is, does Olympic weightlifting make you a good jumper? No. If you suck at jumping, can it improve your jump? It can, but it's not going to make you an elite level, fucking hurdler or high jumper or whatever sport you want to pick. You're not going to suddenly become good at jumping. Okay? So similarly, maybe since Alan is pulling the evidence from elite endurance athletes, maybe whatever it is about them that makes them good at endurance, these people are, oh, look at the Kenyan runners. Yes, I fully agree with you. I won't dispute Alan at all. Um, he's absolutely right. The Kenyan runners eat a diet that's over 60% carbohydrate. But maybe whatever it is about them that makes them genetically superior at running long endurance also makes them genetically superior at tolerating carbohydrates and utilizing them better. Maybe they have better nutrient partitioning. Okay? For those of us who aren't elite endurance athletes, carbohydrates suck. They don't really work very well for a lot of us. Once we keep increasing the carbohydrate load, it doesn't seem to actually help. I would tell you that probably, I'm not anti-carbohydrate either. I'm not like, oh, you should be zero carb. But, I've seen these pseudo studies where people have done things like, I'm going to keep lowering my fat intake and keep increasing my carb intake. And for some people, it rocks out. Like some people, they're just like, boom, like I feel so much better. I've done it myself. I kept ramping my fat down and kept bumping my carbs up, but I kept the calories the same. I didn't get fat, and I didn't gain or lose weight. Okay, calories in, calories out, everything balanced. Things stayed the same, but I can tell you that I felt like shit. If I didn't eat every like 3 or 4 hours, I was like, oh fuck me, like I want to kill someone. Once I brought my carbohydrate intake back down to roughly like a gram per pound of body weight, and brought my fat intake back up, it's like, oh, 6 hours between meals doesn't bother me. Even 12 hours between meals doesn't bother me. At this point, since I've gotten so into the ketogenic diets and things like that, I think I've kind of become keto adapted. I don't have a problem going 24 hours without food. In fact, I've gone 2-3 days without food sometimes. It doesn't seem to bother me. So once you adapt to being fat adapted, you don't have those like mental bonks. You don't get like moody and irritable. My point being, though, just like how some sports select for certain gene types, I think that certain diets select for certain gene types. I think that if you have the type of gene to make you a great endurance athlete, you probably also have the type of gene to make you great at digesting carbs and utilizing them well. If you don't have that gene and you're like the rest of us, you probably need to limit your carbohydrate intake at least to some logical level. Okay, and I'm not saying 0 or even like sub 30 or something like that. I'm saying like a gram per pound of body weight is probably a good starting point. Maybe you can bump it up a little, maybe you can bump it down a little, but that's probably where you're going to be. These people that weigh 150 pounds and eat 400 grams of carbs or 700 grams of carbs, they're rare. That's not the norm. Do they exist? Absolutely. Absolutely. You won't get any argument from me at all. You can certainly find data with those people. But are they the average typical person? No.